So you eat food for the energy and the nutrients, and one important part about the nutrients are called micronutrients. Micronutrients we don't need in the amounts like the macronutrients. So you need 3 meals a day for your energy and metabolic needs. But you also need enough of these smaller amounts of micronutrients to make sure that you don't fall prey to malnutrition. So malnutrition is when you have enough energy, but not the content of the food can be a problem. Let's say you don't have enough of the essential fats, or you don't have enough of the essential amino acids, or more importantly, the micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals. So micronutrients are essential in your diet, but you don't need them in large amounts. So vitamins are organic molecules that are micronutrients. So this is an example of the structure of vitamin A. So this is vitamin A. You can see it has a lot of carbons. This is the line angle drawing, where you don't have to show the symbols for C or the symbols for H. This is the vitamin A is mostly carbon and hydrogen, which means it's nonpolar. So nonpolar molecules interact with other nonpolar molecules, which are fats. And fats, remember, are lipids. So that's why this says vitamin A that is lipid soluble, or you could also say fat soluble or nonpolar. So this doesn't dissolve in water, and it is stored in fat stores in your body. Vitamin C, the structure of vitamin C is shown here, and vitamin C has a lot of oxygens. Right off the bat, you can see OH, 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 and these oxygens. So this is a molecule that has a lot of polar bonds, and polar bonds means that this ends up being a polar molecule. So polar molecules interact with other polar molecules like water, and so this is why this says vitamin C is water soluble. Vitamins that are water soluble are not stored. These are excreted. So the vitamins that are water soluble or polar molecules need to be taken in more regularly. They need to be eaten more regularly because they're regularly excreted. The vitamins that are fat soluble or lipid soluble or nonpolar, these don't need to be taken in as regularly, so they can be taken in smaller amounts because they're stored in the body in the fat. Micronutrients are not needed for the energy, but they're needed as parts of proteins and enzymes. When you have a diet that's lacking in the vitamins, then you end up having a case of malnutrition. When there's a diet lacking in vitamin A, and A is in a lot of vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes. It's in a lot of the vegetables that have the orange color. So vitamin A, when a diet is lacking in vitamin A, actually leads to blindness. Minerals are also important micronutrients. Minerals are ions or inorganic compounds. So where vitamins were organic compounds, which are carbon-containing compounds, minerals mean everything else on the periodic table. And the major micronutrients are these minerals that are indicated in these colors. These ions are metals. These are going to be cations. So this would be sodium +1, potassium +1 ion, or magnesium +2, or calcium +2 ion. And the sodium ion is listed on the nutrition facts label because you can actually have too much sodium. So some people are on low sodium diets. And that's listed above the line because it's important for people on low sodium diets to not have too much sodium. These nonmetals on the right, these are going to be anions, negative charge ions. So fluorine or fluoride ion, chloride ion, or iodide ion. There are also and so these are noted by the different colors, basically linked to how much is needed in the diet. Either, even though there's already a little, because they're called micronutrients, macrominerals are needed for human metabolism, and they have to be ingested daily in amounts of 1 to 2 grams. Microminerals are needed in lesser amounts, and they need to be ingested daily in milligram or gram amounts, or they can be accumulated over a couple of days. These trace minerals these are needed in even smaller amounts, microgram amounts, and they can also be accumulated, so don't need to be daily, but can be accumulated over several days or weeks to get the proper amounts. So an example of a trace mineral, though, that is important is selenium. So this is a trace mineral in food. Your body doesn't need that much of it, but certain diets, these were linked to Asian diets that are rice-based diets, don't have enough selenium in the foods that accompany rice-based diets. And so having to take extra selenium as a separate mineral pill was required.